Hey guys, and welcome to a super epic battle between the mighty Goblin Cleaver 15 up against the World Beater 68 here on one of my favourite maps of all time, Troll Country, a real blood and thunder style map. Now, this is a really special video for me because not only have we just hit 7,000 subscribers overnight, which is pretty damn crazy, the mighty duck army doth grow, but also Goblin Cleaver sent this replay in with a rather nice video, or rather nice message I should say, whilst saying, hey, you've been inspiring me, your videos and so forth, to actually get into this game and play multiplayer, and this is only his 4th ever game with his first DLC, which is going to be Wood Elves. So I'm really excited to hop into this. Of course, I know I've seen some videos before, so he probably has one or two tricks up his sleeve, but I'm also expecting some relatively beginner mistakes, so maybe we can do a little bit of critiquing as well. We'll have to wait and see what there is about on this battlefield. But let's hop into the builds. First and foremost, we're going to be starting with the Wood Elves. So we do have a Spell Singer of Shadows coming in with Pit of Shades and Pendulum. Two nice spells. It's quite a cool air core because we also have the Glade Lord, and I love this pick so much. Glade Lord is one of the most underrated lords in the entire game. Now, the Glade Lady gets picked all the time. The Glade Lord certainly overlooked. A dragon which has Helm of Discord is always going to be relatively decent in my humble duck opinion. We have Deadly Onslaught as well as the Banner of the Hunter King. So it's been coming in, been an absolute powerhouse, working with that Spell Singer of Shadows up in the sky. We do also have a Waystalker down here, doing a nice little bit of a Pocono down, moving in, and just been trying to assassinate enemy casters and other key targets. We then have triple Eternal Guard in the front line, one of which is the Winterheart Guard Regiment Renowned. Their main job today is going to be to protect this double Glade Guard of Starfire Shafts. We also have War Dancers with Azrai Spear, so clearly a man of class and culture, bringing the most epic looking unit in the game. With their tattoos entwined over their skin, they shall flip, dance, and slaughter their enemies with joyful glee. We also have some Wildwood Rangers, decent AP and damage dealers on these badasses, and you may have noticed there's 100 in a unit, so I'm assuming this was in a custom game because these guys are coming in here with the extra larger unit size, which should inflate a few of the units' egos of their kills and stuff, so I'm excited to see how that does indeed pan out. We also have double Hawk Riders up in the skies. I quite like Hawk Riders. A little bit of a shame that they're so kind of closely tied now to these mass air kind of kite cheese builds, because they're a really fun unit, and having them dive down on the back of the enemy can certainly do a decent bit of damage. Now, for the forces of the Warriors of Chaos, we have Chaos Marauders actually mixed in with Aspiring Champions in the front, which is really fun and thematic. We have these elite warriors who love the skulls. Look how many there are on their bodies. Skulls for the Skulls Throne, leading the Marauders, and Marauders do suffer with leadership. Kind of being a little bit on the weaker side, so I understand this logic here, and backing them up is going to be some more Chaos Warriors dotted all the way along, and then Chosen, so it's just line after line after line of shielded infantry. Quite a common tactic up against the Wood Elves, and it just gets better and better the further you go. I must admit, Chosen are just so freaking hardcore, and particularly with all of the trailers for Warhammer 3, they shine even more in my opinion right now. I'm really looking forward to the demonic factions we're going to be getting in Game 3. We also have Double Exalted Hero, which can apply a decent amount of pressure to the enemy they're coming in, just with Deadly Onslaught and Foe Seeker, so nothing too crazy. And then we have the Everwatcher leading the battle line, so yet another player who has the perfect style of a duck coming in here with the Everwatcher, who is coming in with Final Transmutation and the Glittering Robes. Pretty cool stuff all round, so without further ado, let's get this battle underway and let's let the slaughter begin. Hawk Riders are shooting down into the rear right now, just poking down Chaos Marauders and Aspiring Champions. Aspiring Champions going to be trying to encourage the lads by moving forward first, but my god, a massive breath attack goes down the line on the Chaos Marauders. A lovely usage of the Glade Lord to get him down the rank to really wreak that havoc. Already up to 62 kills from but one humble breath attack. The Marauders follow suit, charging in after the Aspiring Champions, who shall now be engaging with their Eternal Guard in the front line. We do have Wildwood Rangers, though, starting to move through the ranks, and they will certainly do a decent number on the Aspiring Champions. Now, the Spell Singer of Shadows does land and help finish off some Chaos Marauders. Dragon is going to swoop in upon the Aspiring Champions, looking to hammer home this position as hardcore as possible. And all along the battle line, Chaos is starting to get down and dirty. They've had enough of the Hawk Riders applying pressure to them. Now, really good play here by the Chaos player, taking his Chaos Marauders and force moving them through onto the Glade Guard of Starfire Shafts, realizing they're quite a big threat. However, the War Dancers are nearby, and they are rather swift, and they're going to start their butcher's work, intercepting the Marauders and saving the range elements. A big fat overcast final transmutation is going to catch Glade Guard, Eternal Guard, and Wildwood Rangers, so a decent hit there. But on the left-hand side, you can see the Hawk Riders swoop down to support the Dragon, and they are just hammering this flank so hard now. Chaos Marauders are terrified. I do not blame them. I would also be running for my life. Aspiring Champions fighting back-to-back, brother to brother, against the wrath of the Azir. Or the Azrai, I suppose, rather than the Azir in this case. The Eternal Guard are trying to beat back Chosen. Not going to go too good for them. The Chosen getting in there and doing some decent work. And once again, you can see Chaos Marauders, Chosen, and all the goodies of the Chaos trying to force their way through into the back line. We do have one Exiled Hero who's managed to make it through, but apart from that, everything's being pinned in place by these pesky War Dancers and Eternal Guard, who have made a thin green line, holding back the tides of chaos. Now, the Exiled Hero is getting absolutely pounded. He's not having the best day, getting shot in the rear by all those Glade Guard plus a Waste Stalker. Isn't going to be too good for anyone, and he's taking considerable damage right now. And we do have some Chaos Marauders in the back who could certainly rally. We also have Aspiring Champions, Chaos Marauders, a load of units who could indeed swoop back. Now, a beautiful breath attack once again is going to go down the line, catching out the Chaos Marauders and Chaos Warriors, and a lovely sandwich. We have Chosen and Chaos Warriors pinned in by the Hawk Riders, the Dragon floating high overhead. No doubt he is going to be swooping in to try to deal with this situation as soon as possible. Big fat Pendulum is going to be coming down in the background there, wiping out Chaos Warriors and leaving the Aspiring Champions to aspire nothing but the dead. Now, the Dragon does swoop down. It looks like that's going to be enough to break the hearts of the Chaos Warriors, though the Chosen made of a little bit more sterner stuff. They're standing and fighting, and with Exiled Heroes nearby and the Everwatcher, they don't want to turn tails and flee. It won't look good in the eyes of their gods or commanders. Now, the Glade Guard have been kept alive relatively well here by the will of play. Managed to regain the situation in the back, and they're just constantly launching shot after shot, actually aiming at the Everwatcher. Now, the Everwatcher has a huge missile resistance percentage. It's low-key crazy, and as he is beating the living snot out of that spell sling, let's have a little look at it. So, 25% magic resistance, 50% missile, but that does not mean you shouldn't shoot him. He's a big target, and almost all of your shots are actually going to hit him, so he's not the worst target at the end of the day. Now, up in the skies, you can see Hawk Riders floating around, trying to snipe out key targets as the Dragon does swoop upon the Exalted Hero, snapping those jaws viciously in his face, but the Exalted Hero does decide, you know what, turn tails and flee. He's like, I'm not about this life. I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for Slanesh, and I don't see them anywhere near me. So he's going to start running it for his life. You can see the Winterheart Guard are chasing off troops. Likewise are the Azrai Spears here doing a decent job, just forcing back the Chaos Warriors, get them off the battlefield. We don't want them anywhere near the main fight. Now, the Hawk Riders have been used aggressively, dropping down into combat, which is something I really like to see people do with their Hawk Riders. But now they're back up in the air, using up their ammunition. Unfortunately, into Chaos Marauders would definitely be worth shooting this Exalted Hero. And just as I say that, it looks like they actually switch their attack stance to go on him and then decide, you know what, no, we're going to swoop down into the back of the Chosen and save the rather beleaguered Eternal Guard here, attempting to pin back the enemy, and the Hawk Rider support should be enough, you would think, particularly with so many legendary heroes nearby as well in the form of the Spellslinger and the Glade Lord. Looks like we are about to receive a gigantic final transmutation. It does actually clip the Glade Lord there. It also catches the Spellslinger of Shadows, and the Glade Guard are starting to be forced back here. And this could be the end of the Spellcaster for the Wood Elf forces as the mighty Everwatcher channels his inner dark, roars victorious, and starts just wailing on the Spellslinger, who is terrified and being forced back. It's a good job they got terrified, as it may give them a chance to get out of there. One more big hit on the back, and that Spellslinger may well have bitten the dust for the final time. We still have Wildwood Rangers holding firm, up to 96 kills, not shabby whatsoever. They've actually gained a chevron, carving up these aspiring champions, and it is just the elite of the elite for the most part left for the Warriors of Chaos in the form of these aspiring champions and Chosen. We also do have the Exalted Hero coming in with Deadly Onslaught, attempting to protect the Everwatcher, who gets hit by Hammer Discord. A lovely counterpunch comes in with the Glittering Robe Summon, but it is not enough. The mighty Glade Lord twirls around, looking at, is there anyone else who can challenge me? And the answer is no. The Glade Lord is by far the biggest juggernaut left on the field. The Exalted Heroes don't have the stomach for the fight, and they decide to retreat, abandoning their gods and praising the almighty trees of Athaloran and swearing fealty to their new lord. Pyrrhic victory, indeed. Lots of death by both of these guys. Both armies were absolutely battered by the end. But Goblin Cleaver coming in with that air core and doing some lovely rear attacks, side breath attacks, breaking up the enemy with terror and fear, and did a really good job with the mobility of his build, which certainly isn't easy. Funny enough, some of my first games, I believe my first ever game, may have been with Wood Elves, actually, way back in Total Warhammer 1 when my PC couldn't run the game properly, and when I came to Warhammer 2, I actually played a load of Wood Elves in the early stages as well. They're a super fun faction. Well played to World Beta 68 as well. I'm sure these guys are friends. This looks like it was in a custom game. Both of them came in with some pretty unique builds and some really epic stuff on both sides. World Beater pushing into that back line time and time again. The Goblin Cleaver was always there with the snap of a finger and a big old snap of the jaws of his dragon. He was able to clear up the back line. So once again, well played to these two champs. Let's delve into the damage dealt, damage value, and all that good stuff, which we'll get to in just a second. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well for more Total Warhammer content into the future. And feel free to leave a comment down below what you thought of the battle. There's a bucket ton of links in the description below. One to my Discord, where you can submit replays to the channel, just like Goblin Cleaver did here today. Get involved in live streams, events, and all that kind of cool stuff. We're actually doing a massive tournament starting this Thursday with a prize total of $1,200, which is low-key kind of crazy. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be very stressful, but also very fun at the same time. So feel free to sign up to that. There is no requirements of skill or anything. You can hop in, although it will be a very competitive tournament. There's a lot of top tier players in there. There's certainly going to be a trial by fire if you are one of the newer players. Loads more links down below as well to Twitch and all that kind of cool stuff. But back to the battle. So, the mighty Goblin Cleaver 15 coming in with one of my favourite Wood Elf Lords. I must admit, Orion has a special place in my heart, but so does the Glade Lord. 1,802 damage value, 152 kills, 18k damage dealt, not too shabby whatsoever. Some lovely breath attacks, and was relatively healthy in the later portions of the battle, so still had more value to give. Now, the Waystalker got 700 damage value, not too shabby either, just focused down key targets all day. 1.4 on the Spellslinger Shadow, some lovely pendulums. Didn't get to see a pair of shades, sadly, but the Spellslinger, much like the Hawk Riders, were used aggressively, which is 100% how you need to use them, although it can be risky as they are a little bit squishy. Thunder Guard, 40 kills, 23 and 22 with 500 value, 380 value, and 430. They were but the anvil for the hammer to strike upon, and they did their job well, holding the line, shield walls formed, keeping back the tides of chaos. Now, the Wildwood Rangers, 99 kills, 1,314 damage value. Yeah, very lovely work by them. I think they did a decent job just cleaving through some more of the elite units of the Warriors of Chaos, particularly that early strike with the Dragon, the Spellslinger, plus the Wild Rangers, crushing a portion of the Warriors of Chaos battle line, and all of a sudden they couldn't fan out as much, and it was really hard getting on the back to shut down the glorious Glade Guard. The War Dancers of Azrai Spears, 636 damage value, 153 kills of very lovely stuff, 730 and 1,313 damage value from the Glade Guard. Now, as I said during the battle, never be afraid to shoot the Everwatcher. Yes, he's going to be ignoring a lot of the damage you pour his way, but he's a very large target. You're going to be hitting with so many arrows. If there's no better targets around, do shoot him. You will do some damage. Really nice play by both of the Glade Guard today. Now, the Hawk Riders were used really nicely as well. 800 damage value and 840, 91 and 49 kills. But more importantly, those rear attacks, they apply such a big debuff to the enemy fighting. It was able to break up and force a lot of the Warriors of Chaos people to flee and run for their lives. And if they're running for their lives, they're not hurting your own troops, and it's a win-win situation for you. As for World Beta, some lovely final transmutations by the Everwatcher. Did get it up to 2,427 damage value and 63 kills, which is really cool. Exalted Heroes had a far worse time though. 550 value and 24. I think they're, in my opinion, better on horseback, simply because you can get around the battlefield a lot quicker and into those right kind of duels. But I understand it's still wanting to bring these foot characters, being like, hey, you know, the Wood Elves are very good at sniping. Foot characters are notoriously known for being a bit harder to snipe, so bringing them on foot isn't the worst idea in the world. Now, the Marauders did a good job trying to push through, but the damage value across the board for them, the highlight being 558 damage value, but they far outperform their brethren, the rest kind of in the very low hundreds, mid 150 kind of range there. Baron Champions, pretty cool pick. 349, 394, and 300 damage value. Not the biggest kills, more of a support troop. They did keep a lot of this infantry force fighting for a relatively long time. Chaos Warriors, 92 damage value, 224, and 453. Not good so far from the ground forces of Chaos. It was kind of being carried here by the Everwatcher, it would seem. Chosen, only 456 damage value of 37 kills, but then 1,272, 99 kills. And you can see they're relatively healthy in the later stages of the battle. The Everwatcher was able to stabilize. Perhaps there was still a way back into this fight for the Boys of Chaos. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.